Section 1. What makes a team principal move disastrous? A team principal is the CEO, coach, and public face of an F1 team. Their decisions shape everything: driver lineups, technical direction, team culture, and even sponsorships. When they get it wrong, the fallout is immediate and brutal. Lost points, lost money, and sometimes lost jobs. In this video, disastrous means a move that backfired spectacularly, damaged the team's performance, or triggered a crisis that took years to fix. Section 2, 2001, Prost Grand Prix, Alain Prost's downfall. Alain Prost, four-time world champion, took over his own team in the late 90s. By 2001, his decision to stick with unreliable Peugeot engines and a revolving door of pay drivers led to financial collapse. The team went bankrupt, staff were left unpaid, and the once promising French squad disappeared from the grid. Prost's refusal to adapt and his loyalty to failing partners is a textbook example of a principal's choices destroying a team. Prost's downfall was a warning to all. Even the greatest drivers can fail as team bosses if they don't adapt to the business realities of F1. The collapse of Prost Grand Prix left a hole in the sport and ended the dream of a French national team. Section 3, 2002, Arrows. Tom Walkinshaw's gamble. Tom Walkinshaw's aggressive management style brought Arrows to the brink. In 2002, a series of risky financial deals and failed sponsorships left the team unable to pay suppliers or even show up for races. The team folded mid-season and Walkinshaw's reputation never recovered. The lesson: even a strong technical team can't survive reckless leadership at the top. Walkinshaw's gamble on expensive drivers and unproven sponsors was a classic case of overreaching. The team's assets were auctioned off and Arrows became another cautionary tale of how not to run an F1 team. Section 4, 2004, Jaguar, Tony Purnell and the Red Bull sale. Jaguar Racing was supposed to be Ford's big F1 comeback, but under Tony Purnell's leadership, the team floundered. Poor results, constant management changes, and a lack of clear direction led to Ford pulling the plug. Purnell's final act, selling the team to Red Bull for a bargain price. Red Bull would go on to become one of the most successful teams in F1 history, while Jaguar's legacy was reduced to a footnote. The disastrous management at Jaguar showed how a lack of vision and stability at the top can waste even the biggest budgets. Purnell's failure to build a winning culture paved the way for Red Bull's dominance and left Ford regretting their F1 adventure. Section 5, 2005, Bar Honda, David Richards and the fuel tank scandal. David Richards led Bar Honda to their best ever season in 2004, but the following year, a disastrous decision to run an illegal second fuel tank led to a two-race ban and public humiliation. The scandal destroyed the team's momentum and led to Richards' exit. Honda would eventually take over the team, but the damage was done. The fuel tank scandal was a classic case of pushing the rules too far. Richards' gamble backfired, costing the team points, sponsors, and credibility. It was a reminder that in F1, there's a fine line between innovation and illegality. Section 6, 2007, McLaren, Ron Dennis, and Spygate. Ron Dennis was a legend, but in 2007, his handling of the Spygate scandal nearly destroyed McLaren. When it emerged that McLaren had obtained confidential Ferrari data, Dennis's attempts to manage the crisis failed. The team was fined $100 million and excluded from the Constructors' Championship. The scandal damaged McLaren's brand and led to Dennis's eventual exit. Sometimes even the best can make a disastrous call under pressure. If you want to keep up with the biggest controversies and behind-the-scenes stories that have shaped F1, make sure you're subscribed. We dive deep into the moments that change the sport forever, so you never miss the drama that happens off the track as well as on it. Section 7, 2008, Honda, Nick Fry and the sudden exit. Nick Fry was at the helm when Honda abruptly pulled out of F1 at the end of 2008, despite having a car in development that would become the all-conquering Brawn GP. Fry's inability to convince Honda to stay or to secure alternative funding sooner nearly killed the team. Only a last-minute buyout by Ross Brawn saved the squad and led to one of the most remarkable championship stories in F1 history. Fry's failure to manage the crisis and reassure Honda's board was a disaster that almost erased a future world champion team from the grid. Section 8, 2009, Renault, Flavio Briatore and Crashgate. Flavio Briatore's decision to order Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash deliberately at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix was one of the darkest moments in F1 history. When the truth came out in 2009, Briatore was banned for life, later overturned, and Renault's reputation was in tatters. The team lost sponsors, key staff, and nearly left the sport. This was a team principal move that crossed every ethical line, and the consequences were severe. Crashgate remains a cautionary tale of how a single unethical decision at the top can destroy a team's legacy and trust with fans, sponsors, and the paddock. Section 9, 2010, Ferrari, Stefano Domenicali's Abu Dhabi strategy blunder. Stefano Domenicali led Ferrari through the late 2000s, but his call at the 2010 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is infamous. By pitting Fernando Alonso early to cover Mark Webber, Ferrari handed the title to Sebastian Vettel. The strategy error cost Alonso the championship and haunted Ferrari for years. Domenicali resigned in 2014 with this blunder a key reason. The Abu Dhabi blunder is still studied as a textbook example of how a single bad call from the pit wall can cost a team everything. Section 10, 2012, Williams, Adam Parr's internal power struggle. Adam Parr's tenure at Williams was marked by internal conflict. His push for radical changes clashed with team founder Frank Williams and technical chief Patrick Head. The resulting power struggle destabilised the team, led to key departures, and left Williams adrift. Parr resigned in 2012, and Williams entered a long decline. Sometimes the wrong leadership style can fracture even the most historic teams. Williams' struggles in the 2010 can be traced back to this period of instability and infighting at the top. Section 11, 2013, McLaren, Martin Whitmarsh, and the no-title sponsor era. Martin Whitmarsh took over McLaren after Ron Dennis, but his tenure was marked by a series of missteps. The most damaging was failing to secure a title sponsor after Vodafone's exit, leaving the team underfunded and unable to compete with the top teams. Whitmarsh's indecision and lack of clear direction led to his ousting and a period of decline for McLaren. The no-title sponsor era showed how even a top team can fall behind if the principal can't deliver on the business side. Section 12, 2014, Caterham. Tony Fernandes walks away. Tony Fernandes promised to build Caterham into a competitive F1 team. But by 2014, after years of underperformance and failed investments, Fernandes abruptly quit, leaving the team in chaos. Staff went unpaid, the team missed races, and Caterham folded at the end of the season. The principal's lack of commitment and poor planning doomed the project. Caterham's collapse was a reminder that F1 is a long game and that team principals need to be in it for the long haul. Section 13, 2016. Sauber, Manisha Kaltenborn's financial crisis. Manisha Kaltenborn became the first female team principal in F1, but her tenure at Sauber was marred by financial disaster. Signing multiple drivers to the same seat in 2015 led to lawsuits and public embarrassment. By 2016, unpaid bills and staff layoffs pushed Sauber to the brink. The team was only saved by a last-minute buyout. Leadership missteps nearly ended one of F1's oldest teams. Kaltenborn's struggles highlighted the importance of financial management and clear contracts in the cutthroat world of FA1. Section 14, 2018, Williams, Claire Williams, and the decline. Claire Williams took over as deputy team principal in 2013, but by 2018, the team was in freefall. Poor technical decisions, loss of key sponsors, and a failure to modernise left Williams at the back of the grid. The team's disastrous 2019 car was the slowest in decades. Claire stepped down in 2020 after the team was sold. Sometimes loyalty and tradition aren't enough to survive in modern F1. Williams' decline was a painful lesson in how quickly a great team can fall behind if leadership doesn't adapt to new realities. Section 15, 2019. McLaren, Zak Brown's Alonso gamble. Zak Brown's decision to bring Fernando Alonso back for the 2019 Indy 500, while not strictly F1, was a management disaster. The project was underprepared, the car wasn't ready, and Alonso failed to qualify. The fiasco embarrassed McLaren and exposed weaknesses in Brown's leadership. It was a reminder that even big names can't guarantee success without proper planning. Brown's gamble showed that even the most ambitious projects need solid foundations and that reputations can be damaged by overpromising and underdelivering. Section 16, 2020. Ferrari. Mattia Binotto's leadership crisis. Mattia Binotto took over Ferrari with high hopes, but his tenure was marked by internal strife, technical failures, and public disputes with drivers. The 2020 season was a disaster, with Ferrari finishing 6th in the Constructors' Championship, their worst result in 40 years. Binotto's inability to unite the team and deliver results led to calls for his resignation. Ferrari's struggles under Binotto were a stark reminder that leadership is about more than technical knowledge. It's about managing people, politics, and pressure. Section 17, 2022. Alpine Otmar Schaffnauer's contract chaos. In 2022, Otmar Schaffnauer's handling of the driver market was a masterclass in how not to manage contracts. Alpine lost both Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri in a single week due to miscommunication and legal blunders. The team was left scrambling for drivers and lost credibility in the paddock. A team principal's job is to secure talent, not drive it away. Alpine's contract chaos became a meme in the F1 world and a warning to all teams about the importance of clear communication and airtight deals. Section 18, 2023. Ferrari. Fred Vasseur's strategy stumbles. Fred Vasseur took over Ferrari in 2023, promising a new era. But repeated strategy errors, slow pit stops, and public criticism of drivers led to a season of missed opportunities. Fans and media questioned whether Ferrari had learned anything from past mistakes. Leadership at the top sets the tone, and when it falters, the whole team suffers. Ferrari's ongoing struggles show that even the most storied teams can't escape the consequences of poor leadership. Section 19. The common threads of disaster. Looking back at these disasters, some patterns emerge. The most common causes of failure are poor financial management, lack of clear vision or direction, failure to adapt to changing circumstances, internal power struggles and infighting, overpromising and underdelivering, ethical lapses and rule breaking, inability to manage people and politics. In F1, the team principal's job is one of the toughest in sports. The pressure is relentless, the stakes are sky high, and the margin for error is razor thin. Section 20. Why team principal moves matter. Every disastrous team principal move since 2000 has shaped the F1 grid we see today. These decisions affect not just results, but careers, reputations, and the future of entire teams. The right leader can turn a team into champions. The wrong one can destroy years of hard work in a single season. If you're fascinated by the power plays, the politics, and the personalities that drive Formula One, make sure you subscribe. We break down the stories behind the headlines and reveal the real reasons teams rise and fall. Section 21. Conclusion. From Prost's collapse to Ferrari's strategy nightmares, F1 history is full of team principal moves that went horribly wrong. These stories are a reminder that in Formula One, the biggest risks aren't always taken on track. Sometimes the most disastrous moves happen in the boardroom. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe for more deep dives into the drama, strategy, and secrets of Formula One. Drop a comment with the team principal move you think was the most disastrous, or the one you think I missed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.